Yo, what's going on? What's going on? How's everybody doing today? Hope everybody can hear me. Do me a favor and type 5 in the chat if you can hear me just fine and if you can see me just fine. Once again, excuse the man bonnet. I'm headed into the office and just wanted to talk about something real quick before going to the office because I'll most likely be busy all day long. So how's everybody doing? Welcome to the live stream. Once again, this is the new podcast that I'm trying out, Health Defense Network. This is Edward Williams, founder and creator of Health by Any Means Necessary. Type 5 if y'all can hear me all right before I get started. Type 5 if y'all can hear me just fine. All right, so what I wanted to talk to y'all about real quick was everybody's familiar with computers, of course. Everybody's familiar with cell phones. Well, I'm sure we're all familiar that our computer or our cell phone has what they call an operating system. This operating system is kind of like the subconscious mind as well as the conscious mind of the computer. It really dictates how that computer sees information and how it translates information. And so the operating system plays the largest role as pertains to the actions that that computer takes. Many of us have cell phones. You're most likely watching me on a cell phone right now. And you know that every once in a while, that cell phone, well, not every once in a while, if you got the phone that I have, you know that this update thing happens like every 2 weeks. And your cell phone is going to tell you, it's time to update your cell phone software because, X, Y, Z. It'll tell you that it's time to, if you don't update your software, it won't run right, bugs, all these things, right? And so what do? We update it. The cell phone has to reset, it needs to reprogram, all those things, and then when you turn the phone back on, what happens? It looks a little different. It runs a little different, and usually that difference that was made is for the better. At least that's the way it should be. It should have optimized the phone for the most part versus slowing it down. Well, as humans, we also have an operating system. That operating system is what many of us call our belief systems. Now, belief systems, you have multiple arenas when it comes to belief systems. You have belief systems as far as it pertains to religion, spirituality. We have belief systems as it pertains to relationships. We have belief systems as it pertains to money. We have belief system as it pertains to health. We have cultural belief systems. We have many types of belief systems. And based on that system is how you now go out and see the world in that arena. And so, for example, the main example, the reason why I'm talking to you about this is I would like to talk about this belief system that we have when it pertains to our health. And many of us have this belief system, and I just want to, really shed a spotlight on just how dangerous and deadly that belief system is. And this is the idea that we are destined to be sick. This is the idea that these conditions just run in our families. And I'm largely talking about the preventable conditions, the lifestyle conditions, such as the type 2 diabetes, the high blood pressure, the obesity, the cholesterol, the PCOS. I'm largely talking about these conditions. And you have to think about just how troubling it is to have a belief system that tells you that no matter what you do and how you try your best to improve it, you will most likely still have to deal with this condition. And on top of that, there's an eraser effect to these belief systems, because it also erases away the accountability. It takes away the onus of responsibility, because since it runs in your family and it's natural, there really wasn't too much you can do to prevent it, avoid it. Therefore, don't really feel too bad if this happens to you. Now, I'm not here to tell you to feel bad one way or another, but I am here to tell you that when it comes to these preventable lifestyle conditions, yes, the responsibility is on us. Now, you may not have been aware of that, because once again, the belief system, the operating system, changes the lens and puts the lens, it changes your perspective to see, this pot of rice I'm about to eat, it's not really detrimental. This is just culture. And if my blood sugar goes up higher after I eat this pot of rice, I don't change the pot of rice, I change the amount of insulin. That's what a toxic belief system will do for you. Now, when it comes to our health belief system, that is largely something that is not innate to us. Our current belief system as it pertains to health, it's not organic to our community. It's not organic to our people. And just think about, because usually a belief system that comes from a culture is for the progression of that culture. But when you have what they call a culturation process take place, which has happened to African Americans, African Americans, descendants of those who were enslaved by this country, whatever culture you had, whatever culture you had over here with you, will now get erased and replaced with another type of culture, which will be your operating system. And so you can see this as a malware. So, spam, a bug, a virus to the computer. So many of us are walking around operating on a malware system. We're operating on a virus-based system that is not beneficial to us as it pertains to multiple arenas. But I'm just going to stick to health. It's not beneficial to us. And it's not me saying this. The numbers are saying this. It's very easy to look around our community and see just how many people are sick with these conditions. It's very easy to see just how many of us are having to take medications for these conditions. It's very easy to see just how many of us are unfortunately losing our lives because of these conditions. And it's also very easy to see what the true culprit is. The true culprit is the foods. It is the lifestyle. That is something very, no one's gonna argue that processed foods is healthy. And I mean, if they are arguing that, you should not argue with fools. You should just leave them alone. And they may not even be a fool. They're just intelligent and they're hustling you. They're getting their Derek Jackson on. And so no one is going to, for the most part, argue with you about the detrimental effects of processed foods. And no one's going to argue with you about the downside of not moving, sitting all day. There's not much argument to be made there. But yet and still, our daily actions for many of us, doesn't reflect the truth, which is that if we eat healthy foods, we will eventually become healthy as well. And the reason for that disconnect is because of the belief system. So the belief system is telling you that, yeah, I know they're out there talking about, eat healthy and fast and eat greens and fruits and vegetables and all that stuff. But listen, bro, based on our belief system, it don't really matter what you do. You black. You are black. I don't know if you looked in the mirror, but if you look at your mom and your dad, you're going to get sick just like them as well. You're going to have to take medication just like them as well. I mean, really, if you go out and do the workout and eat the healthy foods, you're kind of just wasting your money. That's what a toxic belief system will do. It will take the onus and responsibility, because let's keep it real. To do those things, initially, it is quite the challenge. To eat foods that you may initially perceive as being nasty, unpleasing, to consciously go and eat these type of foods every single day, it is quite the challenge. To get yourself up and move every single day when you're so used to sleeping in and not moving, it is quite the challenge. It is. But the question you have to ask yourself is, am I worth this challenge? You know, am I really worth it? I'm telling people on the outside that I'm worth it. You know, I'm telling them, you know, king, queen, boss, whatever like that. These are titles of nobility. But do you really, truly believe that you are of noble stance? Do you truly believe that? Because if you really do believe that, then you would walk it how you talk it. And part of that walking and that activity is to treat your body like a kingdom or a temple or all those things that go along with nobility. And so, because of this belief system, many of these how we would say, these straightforward truths are missed, and many of us go around them. Many of us jump through over them. Many of us just do what we can to avoid them. And it's hard. It's very, very hard to have a paradigm shift when it comes to those belief systems. But I would tell you that it's very much necessary. A lot of you who are familiar with me and, you know, what I've been doing for the past couple of years, I'm sure you all will notice that my conversations have shifted away from tactics as pertains to, you know, what to eat and what exercises and, you know, different types of foods and herbs. It is shifted away from that because I now understand. It took me a while and a lot of frustration to understand that, the problem is not what we should be doing as far as the eating and the drinking and everything like that. It is the belief system. The belief system needs to be eradicated, because if I'm just taking my time and talking to you about the benefits of kale, spinach, fasting, water, yes, all of these things are very much important. But if I am telling that to someone who has a belief system of, I'm going to be sick anyway, all of these little tactics that I'm giving you, or I'm telling you, your belief system is going to find a way to filter this advice out. And that filtering system is going to interpret it as an obstacle or hurdle. And it's going to say something like, yeah, well, we can't get to the store that often, or we don't have that type of food, or we don't have those type of greens, or how much calories of this type of greens should I be eating? How much should it weigh? Well, what about this? It's going to go down into the details of the tactics that I'm telling you. And that's because of the belief system. And so I'm a huge fan of reverse engineering. And so instead of talking about the tactics, let's flip this whole thing upside down and let's go at that belief system. Why do you believe that you were sent here to be sick? Like, why do you believe that even though there are millions of people who go on and live a healthy life, happy life, why do you believe that just because your mom and dad has this certain condition, that you'll have it even if you eat healthier? And so that belief, and so my conversations have been more based around mindset, mentality, belief systems, because I'll be wasting my time spinning my wheels, running in place, trying to talk about, why water is important. Because deep down inside, not even deep down inside, we all know that these things are important. Krispy Kreme donuts are not healthy. They may not be healthy, but you can get them for free if you got a vaccine card. But at the end of the day, we know it's not healthy, right? We know soda is not healthy. We know that we should be walking. There's certain things that we know, but we don't have that spark or that trigger to actually get up and do these things. And the reason is because the belief system. And so I attack the belief system. The belief system, not the person or not the people, the belief system, because it is that belief system that has the pediatric ward seeing the most diabetic cases that it's ever seen before. You have kids who are 8, 9, 10 years old being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. The trajectory of that is not promising whatsoever. So, and that comes from a belief system. That comes from a belief system of, you know, even though these folks, the system has a incredibly bad track record as pertains to improving health, uh, chronic conditions, even though they have an incredibly horrible track record, even though they spend the most in the entire world. Like if you combine all countries, America still spends the most on healthcare, and they're still the sickest, and we still have we're the most medicated. If we take all of these things and look at their track record, they have a failing grade as pertains to chronic conditions. Now, as pertains to emergency conditions, like I said, they're great. But when it comes to type 2 diabetes and high blood pressure and insulin resistance, F, F minus, horrible. And so we are taking the advice and recommendations, and we're being influenced by a failing system on how we should go about our own personal health. What you need to understand is that you just got to keep it real. You just have to keep it real. I know people don't like hearing this stuff and XYZ. Well, I'm not here to make anyone feel good by lying to them. And so the truth of the matter is the healthcare system is a business. They don't make money off of making people healthier. This may be news for a lot of people. Pharmaceutical companies don't make money by having more healthier people who are not taking medications. This may be news to a lot of you. And I know we would like to believe that this whole entire thing is set in place to radically improve our health. Bro, if you have trillions of dollars each year going into the system and your number as it pertains to chronic conditions are worsening, I don't know what you're doing with that money. But you give somebody like me 100,000 to put on my community and watch what I do with it. So, I mean, and I guess it's easy for me to say, but I'll tell you what, in our little small challenge that we have, we are radically helping people radically improve their health in our little small challenge. So, and also what I do here on a daily basis. And so at some point, you just have to question your belief system. Question who is telling you that you're destined to be sick. Question who is telling you that, you can't get off these medications. Question who is telling you that you have to take this medication, that you have to do this procedure. Question those things, because it is your divine birthright to question. And when you don't question these things and you just go along and believe it, the argument can be made that you are a zombie. The argument can be made that you are being led to slaughter, not only you, but those who come after you, unless one of them decides or figures out a way to break out of that belief system. But that belief system literally has a large portion of us on a conveyor belt. And at the end of the conveyor belt, it's not a good sight. And so question it. Look at their track record. Look at their history. What have they produced, or what kind of improvements have they produced? That's real, tangible improvements from that system. We're only talking about type 2 diabetes. Like, how many of you know someone who was diabetic and no longer diabetic? And what did they do to become non-diabetic? How many people you know had high blood pressure, was taking medications, and is no longer taking medication and no longer has high blood pressure? What did they do to do those things? And so just little, even though it's anecdotal, but like just little situations around you of people who have improved their health by taking the responsibility into their own hands. How did they do that? So that's all I really want to talk to y'all about today. Is your operating system. I got to get in here and see patients. But something else happened to me. What's today? Wednesday. So Monday happened. Not happened to me, but a situation. I told you all how some people ran up on me, questioning about the vaccine and everything like that. We had the conversation. XYZ. They were subtly aggressive, like passive aggressive about it, and since days from there, because I told them I'm not getting it. XYZ. I made my statement, but I'm not trying to. You do what you do. And so over time, I can feel the judgment. I can feel the judgment is also vocal, and I just find it extremely interesting because it now has become, or what it seems like it's becoming like a classism thing, because you have, and I make no, I'm extremely militant when it comes to my health. I already told y'all this. I don't play being healthy. Like, I actually live this lifestyle. Usually I'm eating once a day. I might eat twice a day throughout the week, maybe. But usually, for the most part, once a day. On the weekends, whatever we're doing with the family. Drink water. I haven't drank anything outside of water. All right, almond milk. But I haven't drank anything outside of water and almond milk on occasions since 2008 or 9. And I have no intentions on doing anything else. I fast, the majority of the day. I get up and move every single morning. I wake up at 5 and I go do a very intense workout. I've been doing these things, and so I'm in control of my health. Like, this is all on me because I understand being healthy is extremely important as pertains to walking on my path and living out my purpose, right? And so I take it a different way when people come up and question me about what I'm doing as pertains to my health. Like, back away, step away, right? That's my mindset when it comes to that, because I've been doing this. I didn't need a pandemic to scare me to get healthy. And so when I see people who needed a pandemic to scare them to not even get healthy, but just talk about health, because just because you get the vaccine doesn't make you healthy, to talk about health, now questioning and judging me is very funny. But anyways, so the same group of people who ran up on me had the audacity, and it's fine, had the audacity Monday to say, look, we got a question to ask you. And I'm like, all right, what's the question? What is a vaccine and how does it work? Nigga, what? Like, you've already gotten it. You're scheduled to get your second one in a couple of days. You're aggressive about pushing it. You question people who come in here about which one they have, and Johnson & Johnson versus Pfizer. All this talk, all this game, and it's all cap. You don't even know what it is. You don't even know how it works. And so what causes that to happen is a belief system. Like, you're late in the game. It's been weeks since you got that thing. All of y'all. It's been weeks. And you have no idea what it is and how it, like, how do we get to that point? I know how we got to the point. It's a rhetorical question. But just think about that. Like, you are super aggressive, very judgmental about those who are not getting it or choose not to get it or choose to just wait. Like, you have people who are just choosing just to wait. Like, they're like, yo, let's kind of wait and see what happens. Let's kind of wait and give it more time to see how this thing affects you. Some people think it might cause some issues with the immune system, autoimmune conditions. So I prefer to wait. So you have people exercising their right, their God-given birthright, to wait to be injected with an experimental therapy. And it is experimental. The thing's only been out less than a year. I mean, so this whole pushback about calling it experimental, that's not based in truth. It's based in a fantasy, because last year this time it was not around, or maybe it was. Y'all gonna tell me it was. But anyways, you literally have less than a year of experience using this thing. So whatever you're saying about it, the effectiveness, and anything else you have to say about it needs to be based on that short time frame. But yet and still, if you have people who are choosing to wait a little while to kind of see how this whole thing works out, they're exercising their birthright, their God-given birthright. Man didn't give you that right to decide what's going to go in your body. Like, your creator gave you that right. And so you now have people, my chest gets hot just thinking about it, because I don't play with my health like that. I don't do that. You now have people who are judging, who are aggressive about pushing it, and all along they really have no idea what the hell they just had injected in the body, no idea how it works, and not only that, they have no intentions on doing the basic steps to being healthy, such as drinking water. I'll bring it back to drinking water because these people will not drink water. But all right, y'all, let me go ahead and hop off. The challenge, the Fast Life 20-day challenge, Early bird registration is now open. Yeah, we're doing something completely different this time, or we're adding a free gift to the challenge. The challenge is going to be the same, but we're adding a free gift to those who sign up early. We got to get moving. And so it's not enough for me to tell y'all that we got to get moving. I need to go ahead and help out with the movement. And so I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. And I want y'all to always remember, it is our community, it is our responsibility. We have what it takes. I apologize for not saying good morning and grand rising to everybody in here. I'll come back and go through these questions. But please go ahead and share this video. Think about what I just said. Question that belief system, because that belief system may be leading you somewhere you want nothing to do with, okay? Share the video. Check out the challenge that we have starting. So we have a whole entire month, but you want to be a part of that early bird group so you can get those free bands, all right? I love y'all. Appreciate y'all. Our community, our responsibility. Holla at y'all later, all right? Peace.